Fred Curley came out. He is now going to be no longer a part of Asics. What were you thinking when you saw that situation, going down on Sunday?
When I saw it, I had a theory. You want to hear the theory? As an athlete, and I'll say this with my chest, look at yourself before you go to do any of that portal stuff. Because if you're gonna make them same mistakes elsewhere, you're not gonna succeed. You're not gonna optimize your eligibility.
Welcome back to another episode of the Track World News Podcast. I'm your host, Colin Waitsman, here with our esteemed co-host, Mr. Noah Williams. Noah, how you doing today, brother?
What's going on, bro? I'm feeling good, man. Blessed, feeling healthy, feeling happy, man, and I'm ready to talk some track, bro. How you feeling?
Doing great, dude. Doing great. Got back, enjoyed my time at the NYC Grand Prix. Always a great meet. Love that. So it was a fun time, though, man. We missed you out there. We missed you out in NYC, man.
Yeah, I would have loved to run in this year's meet, but next year. We'll be there next year for sure.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, awesome stuff. We got a lot of track and field stuff to cover for you all. So let's jump right into it. Share with you what the topics are for the day. So first, NCAA recap. We're going to be looking at all of the results from this past weekend. Mckenzie Long, Triple Crown. Louie Hinchcliffe winning the 100 meters upset. Florida, 3 championships in a row. Their title dominance just continues. Arkansas breaking records in the 4x400 meters. Another big upset in the 200 meters on the men's side as well. Then we'll fly on over to New York City Grand Prix, take a look at Sydney McLaughlin, who went and dropped a world lead as she was going for that American record. Fred Kerley dropping Asics and what that means for him and what we could see potential sponsors being for him. Elaine Thompson Herah, unfortunately going down with an injury after her 100. And then Noah Lyles bringing it home with the 200 meters as he makes his season opener. So a lot of track and field to get started with today. Let's start things on over with the college realm. Mckenzie Long doing what she do, the Triple Crown 4x100 meter champion. 100 meter champion, 200 meter champion. Your boy was right. Noah, thoughts on what you saw from Mckenzie Long this past weekend, man?
Yeah, man. Big time players make big time plays, man, and big time moments. And she the big player. She the big dog. And she proved it, man. So congrats to her. That's a special thing to accomplish. Not too many people have done that. Probably puts her as a favorite or a second to win the Bowerman. You know what I'm saying? It was special. So to see her overcome with emotion and stuff was dope, man. Congrats to her. And congrats to all the other ladies, too. They did a great job with it, obviously.
Yeah.
Snap.
She was looking crazy. I mean, she's just running out of her mind. I mean, I think it was really encapsulated. Like once we saw some of the videos and just like the interviews that she was having and just the importance that this was going through, like she'd been going through some really tough stuff. For those that don't know, she had unfortunately lost her mother about 6 months ago. And so battling through those emotions that you're having. And she was like, yeah, this was a meet that I really wanted my mom to be at. And so when I saw that of just like, oh, you're running for something greater. It's like, oh, it's like you're already great. You're running for something greater as well. It's like a wrap. After that 4x, she was looking electric. It was just, really great to see for her,
Yeah, facts, bro. And okay, if I told you in the preseason that she did that she won the 1, the 2, and the 4x1, would you be surprised?
That's a great question. Preseason. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know Mckenzie Long as much going into the season.
Okay,
I was I knew of her for sure, but yeah. I think last year the way that Julian Alfred dominated the 100 meters just dominated women sprinting in the college, like it made it look like I was so focused on watching her compete. I was like, yo, she's winning everything. That if you're coming in second and third and fourth, and all, like I wasn't seeing you as much. So like going into it, like I frankly didn't know of her name as much, but once I saw how she had been executing like throughout the beginning of the season, I was like, oh yeah. Now this makes sense. But yeah, that was me. What about you? It sounds like you were a little different, opinions on it.
Yeah, she cold, man. Like she was cold last year. I don't remember too many races from 2 years ago, but last year she really stood out to me as to some of the performances she was putting down, like at the SEC meet, even at the regional championship meet last year, and she was catching hella momentum. I think she even ran well at the trials last year, if I'm not mistaken. So, like I like the way she run. I appreciate her running style. It kind of reminds me of an Abby Steiner, and I honestly think that like a talent level isn't far off of an Abby. I mean, she's the second fastest collegiate ever, and it's over 200 meters. So I guess if you want to draw that comp, it is valid. And I'm pretty sure she's an Ohio girl too, which is even crazier because both of them is from the same place. But yeah, man, I wasn't surprised. I was just happy, and impressed by the fact that she was able to do that.
You couldn't have said it any more correct, in my opinion. She is Abby Steiner 2.0. Now, obviously, very much your own person, of course. But like when I'm looking at the running style, I'm like, y'all got the same type of running style. So I'm wondering, like, did Mckenzie do soccer or something when like Abby did? Like they run the same type of thing. Their 200-meter times are now just 0.02 off because she was only 0.02 off of that national record. Winning the 100 meters like that, both from Ohio. So it's like, yeah, these are like very similar type of trajectories that I can see, and both like people that I think the fans are gravitating towards. Like people are definitely gravitated towards her as to Abby when she was in college, and now it seems Mckenzie, a similar type of thing. She went from I think 4,000 followers on Instagram before the national championship to last time I checked. Let me see, because it's probably even more than it was when I looked just what was it like yesterday morning. So right now she's at 13,500. She went from 4,000 before the national championship to 13,500. She was at 12,800 this morning. So yeah, she's just like, people are going towards her, rightfully so. So no, yeah, absolutely great races for her for sure.
Hey, we got to get her on the show, bro.
Got to.
Like she did the Instagram takeover. Yeah.
I'll hit her up. We'll hit her up, see if she can go through it. No,
I would love to have an interview with Kenzie. I think she really just accomplished something special. And to touch on what you said, like I think that her and Abby kind of charm the fans because they are like, it just seems like they're very like sweet women, like just sweet, nice people. Like, so yeah. I would like to have an interview with Mckenzie Long. So Kenzie, if you watching this, just know we trying to get you on the interview.
Yeah, look out. We'll try to get you on for sure. And one thing did you watch much of the did you see the 100 that she had and the work she had to get done in that 100?
Yeah, bro. What?
Yeah. She had to get back, bro. She was behind. I actually was asking I talked to Noah when we were at the NYC Grand Prix. I was like, "Hey, you're the Triple Crown winner in the World Championship. She's the Triple Crown winner in the NCAA Championship. She watched much?" She was like, "Yeah, no, it was great to see, big time players make big time plays." She's like, it's even cooler to see, someone that has to, get some work done in the 100. Cause he was like, "Yeah, I had a similar thing. I had to do some work in that 100 too." So nah, but she was behind. She just ate up that track, man, and got the win. So that was dope for her, bro.
Yeah, dog. Shout out to Kenzie, man.
Yeah, she's cold. She's cold. Ole Miss uniforms, I'm gonna say it. They the best uniforms in my opinion. Those baby blue and red uniforms, them things are cold, bro. Them things are cold. What's your favorite?
I do like them. I like them. They're cool.
What's your favorite then?
I'll let you, man. Come on.
All right, get out of here, man.
Unless you got the best uniform.
Mount St. Mary's got the best uniforms too. Yeah, you're right.
Say that again?
Yeah, for me, Mount St. Mary's, we have the best uniforms. No bias, of course. Yeah, no bias.
Yeah, no bias. But bro, when we had the black uniforms too, it was like untouchable. Like untouchable. You
didn't wear them things very often though.
Yeah, we only wore them like twice, but still, the 2 times we wore them, we stepped.
Nah, they cold. All right, let's go on over the men's side of the 100. Would you consider this a surprise with Louie ending up getting the win? He ran a time of 9:95, new personal best for him. Favor Ash coming in second. Then Kanaciola Ajayi, I butchered the hell out of that probably with the 10.01. Do you consider this an upset, or was this something that he did what he was supposed to do? What are your thoughts here?
I have a hard time saying it's an upset. I mean, I didn't pick him to win. Just off the fact that he was younger. Like, usually a lot of times you see these younger guys fold at a big meet like that. But surprise, no. I don't want to say I'm surprised, but if you're Godson, Favor, and Sean, like, you got upset. That, like, he's not supposed to beat you, you know. But more power to Louie, you know. It should be more of a cheers to him than like a slight to the other guys. So, nah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I'd say if I'm Carl Lewis, I'm feeling real good right now. Like you had first Sean Maswanganyi making 8 out of 8 finals as a collegiate athlete. That is impressive. Like that is crazy to make 8 finals for the NCAA Championship. So he did his work there. But now being able to have that guy just like take the reins. So it's like, hey, you got your one guy who's graduating, who's going. You got Louie coming on in, so you got another 2 more years potentially with him, and I'm sure they got a couple other freshmen and everything going there. Would I consider it an upset? Like, I mean, I have to because I didn't have a medalling. Like, I ain't have you medal, so I gotta call it an upset. But it was one where, like you said, I didn't pick you to win, but you can. Like, if it was somebody else where somebody that had, like, if Lance Lang won that would have been an upset. Like, Lance Lang, he was better in the 200, but you have business winning that 100 meters, man. If he won, then okay, upset. But for Louie, he looked real good the last like 4 weeks. So I think that's where I'm at with that one.
Yeah, I feel it, man. I agree completely.
So great on Louie. Looking forward to seeing what Houston got, moving on, man. Like H-Town, Speed City, they got dogs, bro. They got dogs. All right, go on over to what you mentioned before the show, the biggest upset that we had on the men's side. We had an upset in the 200 meters. I'm gonna butcher the hell out of this. Cheickna Traore. That was tough. I'm so bad with names. I apologize. Out of Penn State, winning the NCAA championship there. I saw your tweet that you had recently, kind of rehashing, and we talked about it last week. Tell us about you and him coming out here with the win.
Yeah, so I didn't predict him to win. Like, I made my prediction. I didn't predict him to win, but I did highlight, like, hey, a person to look out for, like a special talent, wild card, dark horse, whatever you want to call him, is Cheickna. I believe it's pronounced Cheickna Traore. Like I think that's and if I'm not pronouncing it right, I'm really sorry for disrespect. But either way, like I could see he had a special type of rhythm, a quick type of turnover, and like I really like how his arms were. In that 60, I saw in indoors, January 20th, I think it was. And so I just quoted the tweet, whatever. I would love to see his 200 outdoors. He responded. I responded back, 19, bro. You got this. Don't sell yourself short. And then obviously everything played out the way that I kind of like envisioned it might have. I was really happy it did because I saved the receipts, obviously. But nah, man, to see him put together a special performance like that on the biggest stage, it wasn't the fastest time, but that shows me like his composure versus Tarsus and Robert, those other guys. Like, to be honest with you, Tarsus is supposed to be a 2-time national champion in 200. Like, for real, but Traore came, dropped his nuts, and he proved he's big dog. Like, I'm big dog for real. And I saw the video of the race, and I had to send it to Jareem. I'm like, Jareem Richards. I'm like, wait a minute, bro. He reminds me a lot of you when you were younger, when you were in college. Yeah. So I think that parallel is definitely interesting, and it's something to keep an eye on. But bigger than anything, I think that was the biggest upset of the meet. That was my favorite event of the meet on the men's side. And I'm just, I'm happy for him, man. He was a D3 guy. He was a D3 national champ last year. Like, stories like that don't happen, bro. Not in the 200, not in the sprints. You know what I'm saying? Like, that stuff doesn't happen. And Penn State at that is crazy. So, Huge upset, man. I got a little passionate there because I rock with bro's story and what he got going on.
Nah, I feel you, man. Like that was big. Like first, kudos to you with the I saw you putting up the tweet of like, nah, you're a 19 guy. Like that's what you are. And like being able to do that, running 19, and it wasn't the season's best or anything because he's ran better obviously this year, but 1995, coming through, like that's good. Like that's big time, like showing up in big time moments. You mentioned it, and I do want to touch on it for a second. Tarsus, 2014, he was off the medal stand. Well, that was the favorite. Everyone, he should have been, in my opinion, this was one of the clearest, champions of the meet, and he was off the medal stand. Like, is there anything to like? What are your thoughts on that, and what to look into with that performance there?
Yeah, man. Look, I try to keep everything positive. You know that I've said it a few times now, but I also call shit how I see shit, and what I see really is somebody that gets scared in big moments. Like somebody that gets scared and can't perform in big moments. I was there the day he ran I want to say he ran a windy 19.5 at Tom Jones. It was either Tom Jones or Florida Relays 2023 last year, April. You know what I'm saying? Early, like 19.5 windy. Whoa, this kid should run away with the field. Robert Gregory was in that race. SEC Dogs was in that race. You should be the national champ. Didn't win last year. I would like to know his placement last year. I'm going to have to look it up.
I got you.
Still not get a medal this year is very, very. It's telling. He has another year, so he can redeem himself, but it's telling to me.
Yeah, that's what. That was something that. It's tough. I think it goes to. I mean, some of the performers of just the. Like I think we were talking about favor of just like, hey, yeah, you that guy, but when it's came to some of the championships, like it hasn't worked out. I mean, yeah, Tarsus, 1975 this year, man. That's crazy. Let's take a look at last year. Last year he came in 5th. He ran a 20.03. And he ran a 19.60 at Tom Jones, 6.0 flat.
Yeah, 6.0. I said 5. Yeah. It's 5.
Yeah. It's close. It's close. 5.9 essentially. Yeah. So close, man. Like there's when you're coming on in, like you have the world lead or the NCAA champion, the NCAA lead, and then not able to come through there. It's track is such a mental game, like, and so it's a lot of the time, what's going on in between your 2 ears, what's going on, while you're waiting in between that. So I hope he gets it, figures it out. He has some time. Where does he come, compete for? Do you know what nation he's with?
I believe Uganda.
Okay, so he'll be at the Olympics.
Yeah, him and Traore. So he's a Ivory Coast guy.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, they'll be there. They'll be competing still. So like you got time for it, but it's like, hey, those lights are even brighter. Like, hey, if the NCAA championship lights are bright, like, bro, just wait till you at the Olympics at a full stadium. So yeah, that one was a tougher performance, and it wasn't quite not living up to what I thought. I thought I was going to run away with it, but that's track and field. That's why you run the race. Man.
Absolutely, brother.
All right, let's head on over back to the women's side. Arkansas 4x4, breaking the national record. Like I feel like that was the easiest national record that we could have potentially seen, or the easiestly predicted one. When you got the top 4 athletes that are all there, all running sub 50, you got the national record holder. She breaks the national record earlier on in the day. You're a 400 guy. What were your thoughts from each of those, the performances from those ladies, and what did you see there?
Special. Right. The splits is 50.5, 49-2, 49-2, 49-0. Like, that's, come on. Do you know what won the 4x4 last year at Worlds for women?
Ooh, I don't. Do you know?
Nah, I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. So let's see. What won the 4x4 championship? Go to results. But yeah, though while you're looking that up, yeah, them women were moving, bro. It's just crazy, crazy performance, and they've had 400-meter runners like every year. They're always the best. They just continue to raise the bar with them, and also like on top of that, the woman that came in 5th place, she's transferring to Arkansas next year. So they pretty much went to top 5.
Who's
Juliet
choosing
Whitaker.
Arkansas?
Juliet Whitaker's sister, who goes to Penn right now, she's going to Arkansas next year. So, bro, it's over. I mean, like everyone, like we'll talk about the transfer portal and everything coming up here, but yeah, they're just on something different, man.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. The final was won by the Dutch team running 320. They ran 320.
Wait, we didn't USA didn't win?
It says they were disqualified in 2023.
Damn, I forgot about that. Okay, and they ran you said they ran a 320?
They ran a 320. The Arkansas women ran 317. Dude, what? That's crazy. Nah. Hold on, bro.
What is the what did USA run in 2022?
All right,
I'm wondering what that is. I want to see because if we got DQ'd, I mean the women USA is the best team all the time. So I got to see what
they ran 317.79 in 2022.
Bro, you're kidding. They ran 317. So you're telling me a group of college women just ran would have been neck and neck at the end for it.
For a world championship. That's crazy. College team.
They just got to have Arkansas versus the world at this point in the 4x4. Like, hey, we just going to put through our 4x4 and we're going to race against whoever want to race. Like, that is nutty, bro. That is
crazy,
nutty.
man. And they got a teenager on the team, Like, it's crazy.
Are they all returning? Or can they all return? Or any of them seniors?
I don't believe so. I think Rosie and Amber are both in their 5th year, so I don't think they can come back. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, women – they have Caitlin Brown's a freshman. No, Rosie's a junior listed on here.
She's a junior.
Keisha Price and Amber Anning, though, those are both seniors. Rosie could come back. Caitlin is good, and then they'll have Isabel Whitaker, who's going to be there as well. So they gonna have some people, man. And then of course that portal going to be portaling, so I'm sure they'll find some people. But Shanti Jackson is going to be back up, because she's a freshman, so she's going to be a sophomore, so she's going to be better, next year. Oh yeah, it's rap. It's rap. That's tough. Might as well stick with the SEC. Florida gets their 3rd championship in a row. Are you guys the last team to win that's not Florida back in 2020? That's great. All right, the last team to win, Mr. Noah Williams, as the last non-Florida champion. How's it feel to see what Florida has been doing on the stage just at a consistent basis here, man?
Yeah, it's a historic run. Kudos to Coach Holloway and his staff, what they got going on over there, consistently poaching athletes from the transfer portal, consistently doing it, probably at the best and most consistent rate. Having probably like them and A&M got to have the 2 biggest teams in the country. So having more bodies, being able to, tend to them. It's so difficult, man. Like to win 1 is hard as shit, but he won 3 in a row. So it's just great coaching, knowing, what time of the year is most important, how to get your athletes ready for it, keeping everybody together. Like, shit's got to be stressful and tedious, man. But to get it done 3 times in a row, hats off to him.
And what was nuts is they won this year, and they didn't have a single person win a national championship.
That's crazy.
Like, how are you going to win and not have anyone win? Like they've done it in completely different ways where, they had like 5 people when they won with Joe winning the 1 and the 2, the 4x1, 4x4, like they won with like nobody, so they're doing it in unique ways. But I think this opens up that door for, there's a lot of teams that were right in there. Auburn only lost by 1, USC, Alabama, Texas A&M, and all these teams had 30 points. All of these teams, had they had just like a good 4x4 or win a 4x4, could have gotten it. Auburn, USC, Alabama, Texas A&M, Houston, Arkansas. All of them had 30 points. So they were all within 11. So like that's close, man. Like there's a lot of parity in the men's side of things where you never know who could actually like win this championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it'll be good. But what were your overall thoughts about the NCAA championship, man?
It was nice. It was a nice meet. I wasn't as excited for the men's performances as I was the women's this year. I think the women were just better. But overall, you're always happy to see new champions crowned, new legacies being written, the emotions of it all, good and bad. So, as far as that goes, it was dope to witness.
Yeah. Any other performances from NCAAs that you want to highlight that you liked or just stuff that you saw?
I think that Ahmad had a fantastic anchor leg to win it for A&M. That was special. That was dope. I told y'all Jaden Mason was going to get a medal. I told y'all that. So that happened. That was dope. I was upset that Michaela Rose wasn't able to defend her outdoor title 800 meter, but that's okay. And Godson Oben Brume, man, I took him to win, and he didn't medal. And I hope he's okay. I hope he's going to get ready for the Olympics because I know he'll be a part of Team Nigeria and all of those things. But yeah, that's kind of what stood out to me the most than anything else. What about yourself?
Yeah, I would say one other performance that I really liked was the women's pole vault. We had Chloe Timberg of Rutgers ended up winning with a championship lead. What was really cool, I saw her vault a couple weeks ago at Princeton, and so like right up close and personal, and I was like, oh yeah, no, she's talented. She was really good, and so then she's just been on like a generational tear right now in the vault, and her and Hannah Mole going up for it. But that was really good to watch from her. Like she's extremely technical, a really great vaulter, super strong, and just being able to get that, like that was pretty cool. Especially we vaulted at the same club, both Philly Jumps clubs. So man, we represent. We got a national champion at these clubs, man. It's what it is. It's what it is. So that was great to see. Other than that, I think we touched on a lot of like the main performances. Oh wait, Parker Valby, going nuts. 6 NCAA championships, 5 within a calendar year. She's insane as well. So I'm thinking the Bowerman for the women is between her and Mckenzie Long. I personally have Mckenzie Long winning it based on even though she doesn't have as many NCAA records as Parker Valby does, her performances are better in like the world rankings. Like if you look at where she is, she has the world lead. Parker doesn't have the world lead. I think she's like top 30 in the world in her races. So just like if you look at it from a grand scheme of things, I got her. So yeah, it's but yeah, both of those women just are. I think it's a clear, concise. These are the top 2 women in the NCAAs this year.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And then we got the portal coming up, man. The off season is officially here. So you were part of the portal. You went from Akron to LSU. What is this what does this look like? What can, as fans, we don't see, people entering the portal, the conversations people are having with coaches. What does this look like as like an athlete? How did this happen for you? Like when you officially announced, hey, I'm going in the portal, I'm looking elsewhere. What can we expect?
Yeah. You can expect a lot. I actually did a whole YouTube video about it. So if y'all want to tap in with my YouTube, better check that out. I got a whole video breaking that down. But just kind of sum everything up in short, if you're thinking about entering the transfer portal, you're probably thinking about optimizing the rest of your eligibility, right? So before you do that, I think it's important to look in the mirror. Hey, am I doing everything that I can to succeed at the school that I'm at right now? Yes, no. Continue down the road. Okay, I can do better elsewhere. I'm going to pursue that. Now, that could be a stressful process because you might have coaches hit you up. Buku coaches hit you up. Like in my situation, man, my phone didn't stop ringing. Straight up. My freshman year, I went out, ran 45.7, got in the portal, and my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Now, for somebody else, I've heard stories where they not getting nothing, no love. They, need help. Coaches reaching out to them, and that's going to cause extra stress. But if that's the decision you want to make, that's the bed you want to lay. That's the bed you want to make. You know what I'm saying? You got to lay in it, knowing that you didn't put out great performances. So if you're trying to take that risk, because I was able to succeed on the other side of it. But I know tons of people that weren't, so.
What are some of those? Like, because I don't think we hear those types of stories very much. Like, people hear the someone transferred, you're going from Akron, LSU, you found success, national champion, it worked out for you. But we don't hear of all of those other people that are like, it's not working out. Like, have you found like they're having trouble? Like, hey, maybe their school doesn't want them back because like, hey, you said you wanted to leave, or like it's like aren't getting accepted, or like what are the other side of things that people may not normally see because you just see the signed, committed posters on Instagram.
Yeah, I think the thing that you don't hear, and I think it's been enough time now with the portal, is like this person. Let's say they was going to San Jose State, okay, and they wasn't seeing the success that they wanted to see because they felt it was the coach. But they was making certain lifestyle choices and lifestyle decisions that wasn't promoting them to be doing well at San Jose State. But somehow it's not their fault. I'm going to enter the transfer portal, and now I'm going to go to USC. And when I go to USC, oh, man, I'm about to run so fast. But my lifestyle choices didn't change. So my results, I'm still going to be shitty. USC is a bigger program, so they might not tolerate the bullshit that I'm doing. And then things kind of turn up, oh, damn, so-and-so got kicked off the team over there when they transferred. What? And people talk and people find things out. But things like that happen so often. So as an athlete, like, and I say this with my chest, like, look at yourself before you go to do any of that portal stuff. Because if you're going to make them same mistakes elsewhere, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to optimize your eligibility.
Yeah, no, I think, you couldn't have said it any better. Like, if you're not doing everything you can do to be successful, there's no reason that you're going to, if you're not successful as being a big fish in a small pond, why the hell you think you're going to be even more successful being a little fish in a bigger pond? Like, you got to make sure that you're doing everything. My manager would always say, like, facilitating your own rescue. If you can't help yourself out, then I can't help you out. Like, if you're messing around on the weekends, like you ain't paying attention, you're not locked in, like, and your coaches are mad at you at the smaller school, you think that, Georgia, you think Coach Holloway going to accept that in Florida? Like, you would transfer? Come on now.
No chance. So it's just a lot of just delusion, a lot of like childish shit. You kind of see it transfer over and people grow, which is good. But, the transfer portal stuff's a mess. Honestly, it really is.
Yeah, it's going to be the next season. Excited to see what's going to happen. There's going to be big names committing everywhere. So that's what name of the game, man. Name of the game. Yeah. All right, let's head on over to the NYC Grand Prix. So I want to start with some off the track stuff that we had going on. Fred Curley came out. He is now going to be no longer a part of Asics. He and Asics mutually agree to part ways. And this happened a little bit ago, but was released right after the NYC Grand Prix. What are your thoughts on this? It's happening 2 weeks before the trials, a couple months, 90 days before the Olympics, or 60 days before the Olympics. Like, what were you thinking when you saw that situation, going down on Sunday?
When I saw it, I had a theory. You want to hear the theory?
Yeah.
Okay. So Fred, we all know, is a very independent mind, very independent person, very that way of thinking, it seems. And as a brand ambassador or a sponsored athlete, a lot of times you have agendas or content or ideas pushed on you from the person sponsoring you, right? A lot of times the more money they're giving you, the more they want of you, the more they ask of you. And I could see this being a thing of principles between Fred and Asics. Asics wanted Fred to do certain things. Fred wasn't comfortable doing these certain things and gave pushback. Asics might have pushed back and forth, but I see Fred as somebody that when they give their word, they're going to stand on their word. And if they're not going for something, they're not going for something. Now, that's kind of how I see it. And it rifted because they mutually parted ways. I saw something about spikes and how he couldn't like the spikes and he couldn't get into the spikes. And like, I don't know how valid. I mean, you probably have a different source. Like, you probably have legitimate sources. So I'm not going to say too much. But that's what I think is more the influence than the spikes. But what do you think, though?
Yeah. When it comes to the spikes, so I was going to actually lean on with you a little bit here because maybe you have some insider knowledge of like, my thought is if I am a track athlete, if I'm an athlete at all, and especially in track and field where the shoes you wear they're so important to your like comfortability and the way that you're going to perform. If I'm Fred, during this entire process, I have to practice in these spikes. I'll be like, nah, let me, like, before I'm making my decision, I got to be comfortable in these shoes. And so like, hey, I'm going to do, a week's worth of practice in Pumas, like off on my own, a week's worth of practice in Asics or whatever it is to make sure that I'm comfortable in the shoes that I'm wearing. Cause if this is going to be, a deal that I'm signing that, I have to wear these for the next 4 or 5 years, the remainder of my career, if I'm not comfortable in them, then I wouldn't do it. Like, one, I don't know if that's like a thing that y'all do. Like, do you know if that's something where, before people are signing, you're trying on shoes, you're testing things out? Is that even accurate? Or is that like, nah, that's not really a part of the pro side of things?
I think it sounds good in theory. And if you have it like that, where you have every company coming at you throwing bread, I think then you can kind of do that. But in a situation like that, let's say Asics comes to your door and says, hey, look, $11.5 million for 4 years. Wear these spikes. 99% of people are going to be like, okay, I'm not going to, I don't care how these spikes feel. I'm making $11 million wear them. Like, I'll be okay. Like, I think it's kind of like that. But in theory, like, it makes more sense to be like, yo, but these are my feet and this is important for me to keep performing well. So before I do sign, I should probably test these out. Like, that should be a thing, but I don't think that people be doing it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like, so if that's the truth, like that's the case, it makes sense. I understand it. But like, that would have been my, like, from an outsider, if it was the spikes, if it truly is, like, that's why I'm kind of leaning towards what you're saying. Cause like, if it truly is like the spikes, then like, as an athlete, like as somebody that's signing a contract, if I didn't test something out before I signed it, the only person I can blame is myself. And then like, it's not, and like now it is a mutually agreed upon thing. So maybe he was like, hey, I didn't test these out. It didn't work for me and I can't wear them because my feet are just, it's going to become a problem. I might get injured. I might get hurt. Hey, I'm not going to do it. So maybe that's why it was a mutually agreed upon thing of like, hey, I'm not going to do these because it's not working with my feet. But like, I feel like he mentioned that he's so invested in his body and in his business. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just not a thing. And maybe you can't test spikes out. And I got pie in the sky, an idea of what stuff looks like. So then that leads to what you mentioned of like, is it creative differences of the business of like, hey, maybe they envisioned he would be, more wanting to talk to the media, more vocal. Asics has a lot of, most of their athletes are international athletes. So maybe he wanted them to do more international type things that he wasn't looking to. Like, he did those back-to-back meets in China. Maybe like, he's doing all this travel and elsewhere he doesn't want to do it. But yeah, it's funky to me you're making this decision 2 weeks before the trials and you're 29 years old, bro. If you don't make the team, it's going to be pretty dang hard. Like, that could be a challenge to get another sponsor to sign an athlete who just dropped another shoe sponsor 2 weeks before the trials, and you're 29. Like, I can envision that's going to be real tough to get the next shoe company to see it because they see all this stuff going on. Like, I envision it'll be a challenge, but hopefully it's the right decision for him.
Time shall tell, my brother.
Yeah, so
time will tell. We'll see. I mean, shoot, I think I could see him in the back with Nike. I just had to think about who they got on their roster. I could see him in the back with Nike.
Going back. My bet was I'm thinking New Balance, man. I'm thinking he hit some New Balance because like I'm guessing, hey, you leave Nike. I don't know, maybe Nike's got a a sour taste in their mouth. Maybe it's like, hey, you ain't do all that. But like, it's because with New Balance, I'm trying to think what male sprinters they got. Trayvon Bromell right now. Vernon. He's more in the 4. So they
you're talking about short sprints. It's just I think it's just Trayvon.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, they could. I mean, he wore the Pumas at the thing, so maybe that's sign like, hey, you're wearing Pumas at this meet. Maybe it's sign that he's doing that. But that was wild, man. That was a crazy scenario. So wild stuff. All right, let's go on back over on the women's side of things in the NYC Grand Prix. This meet was just crazy overall. Just a lot of wild stuff going on. An unfortunate news, Elaine Thompson Herah goes down with an apparent injury on her right foot or right ankle, and eventually has to get carried off of the track, which was really unfortunate. And looks like her potential season is going to be over if you're going to be carried off of the track right in front of the Olympics. Like that's going to be pretty hard to come back from. What were you thinking as you were seeing, that moment, unfortunately, wind down with Elaine?
Just sad. You could just kind of pray for somebody like that. I'm not looking too deeply into it because I don't even want to project forward, but you just feel bad about it. You never want to see that.
Yeah, that was tough, man. Like I saw her she posted on her Instagram story. She was like, hey, I felt a little something in the beginning of the race. I thought I'd fight through it and it would get better. It ended up getting worse. And so just combined into, snowballed into the situation we're in right now. Just sucks. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. And it's something where, on just in general, hope that your health is good. And then hopefully you can, get healthy. And then if that means she's able to compete this year, then fantastic. We'd love to see it, but just hope that she gets better. It's always really tough seeing, someone go down like that. So just really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that was really interesting, I think so. We know that sprint is coming out on July 2nd. Were you able to catch it? I know, like, because they did filming in your place, so you weren't able to catch anything beforehand. You gonna be seeing it on July 2nd too?
I'll have to see it on July 2nd. I don't even know if I'm in it, bro. They had me like sign some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
or whatever, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like shit, okay, shit. Let me get a check then. If my face in there, I need like $250 enough for groceries.
Yeah, just pass just a little something, little something.
Yeah.
I feel you. But so they were there. The film crew was at the NYC Grand Prix. So filming for season 2. I tried I might be in the background of some of these things. So they were filming Noah. So I was like, I got to ask a spicy question that I know is going to be in this document. Like, I got to find something. I got to get in this thing. I made sure to put my face in, and they were doing some other interviews and the behind the scenes video of some other people. I don't know what I can say, but they didn't make me sign nothing. So I can say whatever the hell I want, I guess. But so they were doing all that. So I'm like, this episode is going to be crazy. Cause right after Fred ran off the track, he was mad, bro. He was mad because it was he got the DNS because them spikes were he was like, these are high school level blocks, or these are high school blocks, so I'm falling out. And he was mad in that media room, which was just interesting, I guess, to say the least, to watch. So yeah, same with Elaine. So it's you got the Elaine thing, all this stuff. Oh yeah, this episode is going to be crazy for sprint season 2. But going over to Noah Lyles with he promised the world lead. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get it due to the wind, but had a really great race nonetheless. What were your thoughts on Noah's performance this past weekend?
Good race, start to finish. Good job, bro.
Mm-hmm. Any other? I wasn't able to see too much of the start and everything. Were you able to watch much of how it went down for him?
Yeah, it looked good visually. I don't know who was on his outside. He looked like he was able to break stagger pretty well. He looked good. I don't have too much to say, really. It looked good. It was a little windy. He looked strong and shit.
Yeah, it was like a 1.3 headwind or something. So, He was mentioning, it was like, hey, it's his third fastest opener in the 200, that he's had, and doing it into a headwind. He really wanted to break the world lead and potentially take out Tyson Gates' facility record, but he looked clean. He looked calm. He looked good in that. And the kids love Noah. The kids love these athletes. Like people that say track people ain't got fans. You ain't never been to like the NYC Grand Prix. They have like the kids just lining up. They got like packed 100, 200 deep, just waiting for autographs. And like, bro, they tried ripping bibs off, bro. These New York kids are crazy. Like I was talking to Matt Bowling in one of the interviews. He was like, yeah, one of the kids just tried ripping my bib off me as I'm walking off the track. I was like, yeah, I gotta go. These kids are crazy. Like they go nuts for them track athletes, man.
Yeah, they do. They be turned to that meat, man. Them kids be turned up at that meat for sure.
Mm-hmm. But look good for Noah. How you feel? So right now, I know we're going to do our predictions, I'm sure, for the trials coming up. But if you're Noah going into, you got the trials coming up in 2 weeks, Kenny Bednarik, still has that world lead. He's probably got a lot of confidence. He's also been undefeated in the 200 this year. How you feeling if you Noah going into the championship?
Confident. If I run my best race, I'm the best. I think that's kind of how he approaches it. If I run my best race, I'm the best. Nothing else to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be good, man. I think he ran a well rate. It was just the wind. I was really hoping that the wind wasn't there to get a true reading on like who's it going to be, because that 7-7, like it's so close where if it's an even wind, it's probably going to be pretty dang close to who's going to have that world lead at the end of it. But yeah, he looked good, man. So it was a good performance, and ready to see how he's going to execute next week or 2 weeks from now. Then let's go on over, close things out with the NYC Grand Prix. Sydney McLaughlin Lavroni, the queen of track and field. I talked about this. She can be the greatest track and field athlete of all time if she wanted to be. What were your thoughts on this world-leading 400-meter time just off of the American record, which is what she was going for? 48, what was it, a 48, I think 74 that she was able to do. Your thoughts on her performance here?
Yeah, bro. It was a dominant performance, man. She dominated that field. You know what I'm saying? And those was legit runners that she ran against too. I don't know what the intention was. I was trying to find what her intention was to run this.
She wanted to break the American record.
That's why she did it. Like,
yeah.
Okay, bet. So shit, like she a girl, man, but she drops her nuts too, bro. Like she's showing she the coldest right now. She just that's what she's doing to me. Like it seems like she's just proving that she's the coldest. Because I said it, like, when is Sydney gonna start to like kind of branch off after the 200, And so I think she tapping into a lot of bags right now, man. But she whooping shit though for sure.
Yeah, I was so it's interesting. Like I see the way that she does the answers the question to the media. I'm starting to realize what Sydney does. So like before the race, we did the pre-meet interview, and I was like, hey, people are like, what's the goal? Like, what are you hoping to do? Just run a good race. Like I just want to do well, see what I can do. And then after the race, people are like, hey, what were you shooting for there? She was like, the American record. And I'm like, I see what you're trying to do. You ain't want to give me my clicks before the race. You don't want people talking about. You knew you were going for the American record beforehand. And she also mentioned like, hey, if I do something crazy, like we're like, hey, what events are you going to do at the trials? She was like, I'm planning on doing the 400 hurdles unless I do something crazy, tomorrow. And then I bet you that means if she ran the American record, she might have decided to do the open 400 as well. But because she didn't, she's only doing the 400 hurdles. So, yeah, she's a dog, bro. Like, there's no way to put it. There's no other way to put it. She's just a dog.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man.
There was a ton of headwind on that last 100. When you're lining up in that 400, like where that last 100, you're going to be fighting demons already, and then you got nearly a 1.3, 1.4 meter headwind going into it. Does that change your strategy that much, or are you just keeping it the same, when you're running?
No, you're keeping it the same. In the 4, you're gonna feel that wind on both sides. You're gonna feel it push you, and you're gonna feel it, pull you in a sense. So nothing really changes, man. I never really felt the wind, and I done ran in races where the 100-meter right before got 4.3 wind, and we go out there and run the 4 right after. You know what I'm saying? So nah. In the 400, I don't think wind is as significant as like short sprints, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I was curious, like how it goes on, with them. But yeah, so she put up something crazy. She's always looking good. So just excellent performance from her. But overall, NYC Grand Prix, excellent track meet. Glad I was able to go out. We'll be able to see, I guess, most of these athletes not going to be training until the trials. So I think next week in our episode, we'll probably have our predictions. I'm thinking I just got to look at the time frame of the ways that'll go, but overall good performance. Any other things that you noticed from this weekend of stuff that you wanted to cover, topics you wanted to go over there, man?
Udodi getting a nice victory, his first victory as a pro at the New York Grand Prix over 100 meters. So shout out to Udodi. I think that's really the only performance that I wanted to speak on before we closed up.
How do those how do you think you feel right after that? Like you dominate, because I was talking to him after in the post-race interview, and it's like, hey, you go from college, you're dominating every single race. Like he won pretty much every race in college too. You then become a pro, and it takes some time, like, because now everybody's a dog until you're able to win it. Like, what's that feeling like when you get your first one? I think was your first one that indoor meet when I saw you in Boston. Okay, yeah. So like, what's that feel when you get your first your win as a pro, and like, yeah, what's that emotional feeling, man? I feel like it's got to be pretty dang good.
Yeah, it's kind of like I am who I said I was kind of feeling. Like, yeah, okay, bet. Like I can do it on this level too, bet. Okay.
Yeah, it was it was good, and like unfortunately, obviously we didn't have the full field with Fred in there, and there was some headwind, but that there's some good people in that race, man. Like glad to see that Nigeria 4x1 team. That team's going to go crazy. Godson, Udodi, Favor. Who's going to be their fourth leg? I got to figure out who their fourth leg is. Tarsus?
No, he's Uganda. I think Azamati might be Nigerian. I don't know where he's from, but he might be Nigerian. I don't know.
Yeah, so they got some. That team's going to be dangerous, man. But that was good for him. That was a huge win for Udodi. So feel good for him, bro. Awesome. Well, great stuff this weekend. That's going to be it for this week's Track World News episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Tune in next week for our next rendition. And on Thursday, we will be having the interview with Joe Fambule. So go and listen to that coming up. Any last words for the people here, Noah?
Nah, man. The season is great so far, and it's only going to get better. So I'm excited, man.
There we go. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Peace.